Hello everyone, welcome to the video tutorial on Firebird 5 Robotics Research Platform. This platform is based on the Atmega 2560 microcontroller. In this tutorial, we will learn about servo motors, their working, how to control them and how to interface a servo with Firebird 5 robot. Let's see the agenda for discussion in this tutorial. The presentation starts with how a servo motor works, its internal circuitry, what makes it different from DC motor and how can we rotate it. We will learn selecting a servo for specific use and how to interface a servo with Firebird 5. Finally, we will jump on the program for the same. Before we proceed with this tutorial, make sure you understand input-output interfacing using ports in AVR and know about the timer features in AVR and how to use them. So let's see what a servo motor is. It is basically a DC motor that can rotate with precise angle, speed and acceleration. Servos can put up about 42 ounce per inch of torque. They are easily found in toys like model car, planes, etc. for controlling steering or adjusting wing surfaces. They are relatively inexpensive, hence widely used for educational purpose in mechatronics as they can be controlled via controller. A servo mainly contains DC motor coupled with gears having proper gear ratio and a sensor for position feedback. Generally, this work is done by coupling it with a potentiometer and a control circuitry to form a closed loop control system. Looking into the control system, we find that the output port is connected with one of the input terminals of the error detector amplifier and the electrical signal is given to rotate servo at the another terminal of the error detector and amplifier. The difference between the signals to the error detector are amplified and sent to DC motor to drive it. This in turn rotates the potentiometer, which is coupled with the shaft of DC motor using gears. As the angular position of the potentiometer progresses, the output or the feedback signal increases. When the potentiometer reaches the desired position, the error in the signal from the output and the control signal is negligible. Hence, there would be no input signal to the DC motor to rotate it. Continuously applying the same control signal makes the motor to stay at that same position. This is how a simple conceptual servo motor works. Now let's see how to operate a servo motor. Servo motor is operated using the wires provided in it. It is driven to a particular angle by the control signal sent to it via controller. These signals are basically pulse width modulated waves and the angular position is determined by the on-time period. This on-time period for various angles depends on the servo motor and the model and the manufacturer, while not on the frequency of the PWM. It is interesting to note that this angular position is independent of the duty cycle of the PWM signal. Generally, this time period is around 1 millisecond for 0 degree and 2 millisecond for 180 degree, but depends on the model and the manufacturer as said above. Graph of the on-time period versus respective angle is linear. Therefore, the values of the time period for angles other than this can be easily calculated by getting the equation of the line from the given two values. The typical specifications of the servo motor are torque, speed, weight and its dimensions. A manufacturer may compromise torque over speed or speed over torque in different models. Weight and dimensions are directly proportional to the torque. The selection of the servo should be made as per the requirements of these specifications. Now let's move on to interfacing part. This figure shows the servo connector. The ground pin marked as number 1 in the figure is generally brown or black in color. The number 2 pin, that is power pin, is generally red in color, while the signal pin is typically yellow or orange in color, which is marked as number 3. This figure shows where to put these pins in the Firebird 5 robot. A prescaler is specifically used to slow down the counting process by dividing the crystal frequency by a power of 2. It is very useful when the crystal frequency changes by a power of 2. That is, changing the clock speed from 1 MHz to 8 MHz can be easily compensated by changing the prescaler from X to 8X without changing other code. Let's choose 256 as prescaler. Here we would use timer 1 of Atmega 2560 for generating PWM signals. Being 16-bit wide, it provides better resolution. Let's choose the most commonly used mode, that is fast PWM in mode 14. The table shows waveform generation mode bit description from the software manual, table number 5.3 of Firebird 5. We would use the internal crystal of the controller for delay purpose in timer. The main logic behind the pulse width modulated waves generation is the counter is started to count from 0 to specified assigned value, that is top value, and the output where the servo is connected is set high simultaneously. When the value in the counter becomes same as that stored in OCR1 register, the output at the same port is clear. Hence, the value in the OCR1 register can be used to generate waveform of desired on-time period, which can be used to send angular positions to the servo motor. The top value can be calculated from the desired PWM frequency as here the top value for 50 Hz PWM frequency is calculated. The value of the OCR register can be calculated from the on-time period for particular angle and clock frequency by prescaler. Dividing the prescaler by clock frequency, we get the time required by the counter to increment by 1 count. Hence, multiplying it by total time period required for certain angle, we can get the required count value to be provided to OCR1 for rotating servo to that angle. Values of resistors like TCC-R1 and TCNT1 can be found using Atmega 2560 datasheet and the values of prescaler. Now, let's jump to code. This block shows the header files required to be included in the program. This block shows the port initialization. The first command will make port B 5 pin as output port, and it is set to high using second command. Now let's see how to get counter value for angles of which T on time period is not given, that is for angles other than 0 degree and 180 degree. As we know, the relation between the on time period and the corresponding degree is linear. And also on the other hand, we find that for a given fixed prescaler, the relation between the counter value and the on-time period is linear. Hence, knowing the count value for 0 degree and 180 degree from the equation of OCR1 discussed earlier, we can get the plot of count versus degree, and hence, getting the general equation of the curve, which would be a line, we can get the counter values for any degree required as. Now let's move on the coding part. We would write a code in Atmel Studio and burn it on Robot. I've already configured Atmel Studio for Atmega 2560 and written a code to drive a servo. Looking at the code, we find clock frequency and header files defined at the top of the code, which are essentials for any program. Then comes the port initialization. Port at which servo is connected are initialized as output port and are set high. Then timer is initialized. Here the values in TCC R1A and TCC R1B are obtained from datasheet of Atmega 2560. Keeping in mind fast PWM 14 mode and prescaler, which is equal to 256 in our case. Hence we get the values for TCC R1A and TCC R1B as shown. These values of TCC R1A and B can be obtained from WGM bit description, COM bit description and CS bit description tables of software manual. For rotating servo to certain angle, it takes on-time period for that angle. So we need to convert angle in terms of on-time period, which then is converted in terms of count value based on the prescaler and clock frequency. Hence, this block converts angle in terms of counts. This formula we already derived in previous section. This is basically the equation of line obtained by plotting count versus respective degrees. Here we note that the slope of the line obtained is 0.512 and the y-intercept is 34.56, which is the count value for 0 degree rotation. This value is stored in OCR1A register. Similar task is done for servo 2 and servo 3. Now let's move on the main code. So we start from initializing peripherals and devices, which initializes ports and timers. Then command is given to servo 2 to rotate to 0 degree. This 0 degree goes as argument to the function servo_2, which converts degrees in terms of counts and saves it in OCR register. Hence, in this program, we rotate the motor from 0 degree to 90 degree to 180 degree and again back to 0 degree infinite times, as it is in infinite loop. Now we shall build this code and burn it on the robot. We can see process succeeded with 0 errors. Hence, we would see the output by burning this code on the robot. Let's check out the output after burning the code. Going through the tutorial and knowing how can we drive a servo motor and how to program a controller for that, you can try different things like velocity control, 1 degree precision, etc. You can also challenge the operating frequency range of the PWM. With this, we end this tutorial here. Thank you for listening. For any doubts and suggestions, please feel free to mail them at helpdesk@e-yantra.org. This is Vishal H. Rajai signing off.